So there's no experiment you can do. We could look at the decay of a radioactive nucleus or some electricity and magnetism or bounce a ball, have a pendulum, whatever it is. And there's no experiment you can do to tell you whether you're moving or not. Therefore, that concept has no meaning because you can't measure it.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
How come we haven't been to the moon in like 50 years? And how come I've seen videos that says we lost the technology to go to the moon? What is the truth about all that?
We sort of initially lost it after the 1970s.
What does that mean? What does it mean to lose the technology?
It's very, very difficult and expensive to build a Saturn V. In those days, in the 60s, I'd say it was right on the edge of our capabilities. It's astonishing that we managed to do it.
Well, they say now that your telephone has more capabilities than what they had in totality to fly to the moon.
Way more.
Yeah, I would even go so far as to say it's a religion. Science is a religion today. It's scientism. And they've already got the parameters within which they want to interpret the data. And they're not going to go outside those parameters. This is a perfect example. You do get some of them that break out of it, and they say, yeah, well, this defies the Copernican principle. We've read many papers like that, and we quote them in our book. Okay? But the motivation is, if the Copernican principle is wrong, that means all of science is wrong. Everything, cosmogony, paleontology, cosmology, archaeology, everything now becomes suspect because we can't support these long ages. We can't support this vast universe. As a matter of fact, we're in the center of it. How does that happen? Well, it's not going to happen by chance. Someone had to put it there, you see, and that's what they're scared of. That's the motivation.
So Einstein said that means there's no such thing as absolute space, which kind of follows if you think about it. But that's it's a cool but difficult thought process.
When we teach our kids, gravity sucks. Gravity sucks evenly. It pulls everything to the center. But then Einstein gave us a different picture. Gravity doesn't suck at all. We tell our students, we lied to you. Gravity does not pull you to the floor. Space pushes you down. Why are you sitting in your chair today? Does gravity pull you to the floor? No. There is no such thing as gravitational pull. We lied to you. The space around you is warped, and space itself is pushing you down into your chair, and that's why you're sitting in your chair today. Well, one of my favorite Einstein stories is, when he was so frustrated walking around the streets of Princeton, children would flock to see this gray-haired Einstein walk down the streets of their hometown. And one day, you could hear him roar with laughter talking to a 10-year-old child. Well, the mother of this child went up to her son and said, "Son, what did you say to Einstein that made him laugh so much today?" The mother was so proud. And then the son said, "Oh, I asked him whether he went to the bathroom this morning." Well, the mother was mortified. And then she said, "Well, then what did Einstein say?" And then the little boy said, "Einstein said, at last, somebody asked me a question that I can answer." Well, today,
in just a few months, NASA's space shuttle program will take its last flight. But the ABC Action News I-team uncovered a problem at NASA happening on the ground. Investigator Michael George explains tonight.
8, 7, 6.
They can put a man on the moon.
1.
boost their ignition.
But they can't keep track of the equipment they use to do it. That's according to NASA reports obtained by the I-Team. Kennedy Space Center employees report just last year, nearly $500,000 of high-tech items simply vanished.
Something's broke in the system.
Suzanne Padone works for Inventory Management Solutions. Companies hire her to keep track of their inventory and make sure nothing falls through the cracks. We showed her what we found at NASA.
It appears that there isn't really a process working year after year, and it's probably going to continually get worse.
None of the lost equipment is reported to contain classified information, but it is expensive. Like this one, a digital video recorder valued at $100,000. Here's another one, 11 radios lost. Price, $35,000. And a high-tech wave reflectometer went missing in 2008. That's another $18,000. NASA officials say they're aware of the problem.
We need to do a better job of keeping track of it, obviously, and we know that. We want to do a better job of it.
Most of the missing items are computers, TVs, and radio equipment. NASA argues they're losing mostly old and unused items. They also say most of it isn't really lost. It's likely still at Kennedy, somewhere.
Could be something that was supposed to be listed in this place, stored on a shelf to be excised. It's not where it's supposed to be. It gets listed as missing.
Former NASA employee Keith Cowing says NASA's losing more of its technology because the space shuttle program is ending and the agency's facing cutbacks. But he believes NASA shouldn't worry too much about lost equipment.
Don't spend your time tracking computers and not launching spaceships. I mean, you need to be launching spaceships.
But NASA is still a government agency, so all that lost equipment still adds up to $500,000 the taxpayers paid for.
The general public is not going to be happy if they know assets are missing, and it's not getting addressed.
If you want to see what else NASA has lost over the last 3 years, you'll find a complete listing on our website, abcactionnews.com/iTeam. Michael George, ABC Action News.
And don't forget, if you have a problem or a story idea you would like our I-Team to look into, just send us an email to iteam@abcactionnews.com.